Throughout history, some events don't just change governments. They change the world forever. The Russian Revolution was one of those moments, a turning point that reshaped nations' power and human destiny. The Russian Revolution was not a single uprising. It was a chain of events driven by hunger, injustice, and desperation, as ordinary people rose against a system that had failed them for generations. At the start of the 20th century, Russia was the largest nation on Earth, but beneath its vast size lay deep poverty, inequality, and a system that favored a powerful few while millions struggled to survive. Russia was ruled by Tsar Nicholas II, an absolute monarch who believed his authority came directly from God. While the royal court lived in luxury, millions of ordinary people suffered in silence. Nearly 80% of Russia's population were peasants, forced to work endlessly on landlords' land, living in poverty with no rights, no education, and no hope for change. In the cities, factory workers labor for long hours in dangerous conditions, earning wages barely enough to buy bread and keep their families alive. There was no freedom of speech, no political voice, and no protection from state oppression. Any opposition was crushed without mercy. In 1914, Russia entered World War I, believing the war would unite the nation. Instead, it pushed the country closer to collapse. Russian soldiers were sent to front lines without proper weapons, food, or training. Millions died, and morale across the nation shattered. Back home, food shortages, inflation, and unemployment pushed civilians to their breaking point. In early 1917, women in Petrograd took to the streets demanding bread, unknowingly igniting a revolution. Workers joined the demonstrations. Factories shut down, and the streets filled with anger and determination. When ordered to fire on civilians, soldiers refused. Some even joined the protesters, signaling the collapse of Tsar's authority. In February 1917, Tsar Nicholas II abdicated the throne, ending over 300 years of Romanov rule. A provisional government took control, promising democracy, reform, and a better future for the people. But the war continued, reform stalled, and hunger worsened. Once again, the people felt betrayed. At this critical moment, Vladimir Lenin returned from exile, bringing revolutionary ideas and a powerful message. Lenin promised peace for soldiers, land for peasants, and bread for the hungry. The Bolshevik Party quickly gained support from workers, soldiers, and peasants across Russia. In October 1917, the Bolsheviks seized key government buildings and took control of the capital. The provisional government collapsed almost overnight. A new era had begun. For the first time in history, a communist government ruled a major world power. Land was redistributed. Factories were nationalized, and Russia withdrew from World War I. The royal family was imprisoned and later executed, bringing the age of monarchy to a permanent end. From 1918 to 1921, Russia was torn apart by a brutal civil war. Millions died from violence, famine, and disease as the nation struggled to survive. Despite overwhelming challenges, the Red Army emerged victorious. In 1922, the Soviet Union was officially formed, not just a nation but an ideology. The Russian Revolution reshaped global politics and inspired movements across the world. When injustice and hunger reach their limit, even the most powerful empires fall, and history is rewritten.